Hi folks, welcome to RJA Impact. Today we're going to be talking about week 3 in the Holmes Theranos trial. You can search this channel for a week 1 and week 2 update, and also for a more detailed video on the background to Theranos and Holmes' journey to the point at which this trial commenced. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. As a reminder, Elizabeth Holmes is in court accused of multiple instances of fraud against patients and investors in connection with her role as CEO of Theranos. This is week 3 of that trial.
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Sarika Gangakidar. This week saw the continuation of the testimony by Sarika, a scientist who'd worked for the company for about 8 years and reported directly to Holmes. In week 2, we'd heard her say that she was aware that the testing of devices that the company was producing would not be ready for the big Walgreen rollout. This week, we heard more about the culture of the company led by Holmes and Balwani. Sarika was asked by the defence attorney Lance Wade about an email from Balwani to Sarika which compared her team with the software team, stating that the software team had worked till 3 AM to get their projects done, and that Sarika must get her team to put in the hours this month to finish their projects. She said it was a common theme to make her and her team feel guilty, and resigned a few days after that email. What's interesting about this is that the defence team are picking up on Balwani's hard approach to people. We know that they are intending to defend Holmes by saying that Balwani dominated Holmes, and so this would appear to be good evidence to support their aims. We also heard that Miss Holmes had asked if she could do anything to get Sarika to stay, putting Holmes obviously in a positive light as a result of this line of questioning. Audra Zachman. Audra was a nurse practitioner who said that she received erratic results from Theranos, which indicated that one of her patients, Brittany Gold, might be miscarrying when she was pregnant. There were 2 hormone tests that Theranos carried out for her, which had conflicting results, leading Miss Gold to believe that she was miscarrying. Fortunately, they tried another lab and obtained results showing everything to be normal, and in fact Brittany went on to give birth to a healthy baby. Zachman stopped using Theranos after this. The court went into some detail about the numbers provided by Theranos relating to the hormone test. Theranos said that in one instance they'd misplaced a decimal point. Well, that actually led to the result being 100 times lower than it should have been. A major red flag. The defence actually tried to undermine the testimony to some extent by saying to the jurors that these were 2 tests amongst thousands that its clinic had received. They pointed out that Zachman had been asked back in January to review data relating to Theranos tests that might have been incorrect. She'd said at the time that not much seemed out of place, and she said to the government that she was sorry she didn't have more to report. The text message drama. There's been a continuing dispute between the prosecution and the defence over which text messages can be brought in front of the jury. These relate to thousands of personal texts sent by Holmes. Amongst these could be texts relating to an attempt to deceive a journalist, which will be interesting if they come to light. The judge made a ruling on some that won't make it. Justice Offin. Justin Offin is an employee with PricewaterhouseCoopers PwC who compiled the personal texts of Holmes and Balwani, apparently over 80,000 of them. He'd also gone through her work computers for the same reason. PwC had spent more than 10,000 hours on the Theranos assignment. He and Robert Leach, the prosecution attorney, read some of them out. There was no smoking gun text that we'd noted yet. The ones that were read out, however, did show that Holmes and Balwani were aware of issues in the company. For example, in 2014, Balwani, need to focus on ops, getting hurt in the market. Balwani, customer service seems to be terrible. Holmes, yes, we have to own this. And in 2015, Balwani, it is maddening there is no focus in any chems team and no product. Holmes, I know. We'll call this week's witness the star witness, Jim Mattis. Jim Mattis, the former Defence Secretary, took the stand. Jim Mattis joined the board of Theranos and explained how he tried to help and expedite getting Theranos products to be accepted into the military. At first he said that he was hesitant to join the board as he had no medical background, but Holmes had persuaded him. He invested $85,000 personally in Theranos and said that that was significant to him. He pointed out that while the board was eclectic, it could ask difficult questions and they were candid with one another. Holmes had insisted he'd be paid for his work, and when asked how much he was paid, he said £50,000 per annum. Mr. Downey, Holmes' lawyer, showed him a document that proved it to be $150,000 per year. Well, I don't know about you, but I don't think I could ever make a mistake about a salary difference amounting to $100,000. Mattis also assisted Holmes with security, introducing her, for example, to his chief bodyguard. We also had emails between the board members read out to court where Holmes had been asked by the board to explain Wall Street Journal reporting, stating that the testing was being done on third-party machines and not Theranos' own Edison machine. In the email exchanges, Balwani said there were plans to conduct 3 studies which would address the issues and seek publication of the results in peer-reviewed articles. For William Frist, former senator and surgeon, and the only board member with significant medical experience, the promises weren't enough. Integrity of lab data is at the heart of everything, he wrote to the group. Nothing else matters if we can't demonstrate that quickly. Following a number of exchanges, the board issued a joint statement to the press. Theranos technology is both transformative and transparent. Our blood tests are faster, less expensive, and require less blood than traditionally required. And as a group, we embrace this promise and stand with Theranos. You can see this is really a cop-out. The statement did not directly address how many tests, etc. were being done on third-party machines versus Theranos' own. On a lighter note, the district judge, Edward de Villiers, at one point asked the press corps if they could type a little more quietly. Adam Rosendorf, Theranos lab director. On Friday we heard from Rosendorf. Rosendorf took the job with the company in 2013 and said he was impressed at the time by the company and the fact that it appeared to be improving the lot of patients. He thought this could be the next Apple. However, he left the company little more than 18 months later, stating that he lacked confidence in the company's testing and was being pressured to find alternative reasons to physicians for the failures. He tried to get Holmes to delay the commercial launch, and when he talked with her about this, he said she was not her usual composed self. She was trembling and her voice was breaking. There was another email to Holmes during Rosendorf's testimony stating that the test results were causing serious issues. You can see here that the prosecution is bringing all these items of evidence together, showing that Holmes was well aware of the issues. That's one of the big plans in their strategy, and it would seem they're being successful at this point. 9 days before the launch, Holmes had asked her lab staff how many tests had passed validation. None, was the response. Holmes apparently still pushed the launch, saying that they would use third-party machines to complete the tests. We can summarise most of Rosendorf's testimony in one of his final sentences. I came to believe the company cared more about PR and fundraising than patient care. Week 3 in a nutshell. As usual, we'll try and provide a quick summary of all the witness testimony and goings on in court during the week. Sarika Gandekar, scientist and ex-employee, noted that the common theme in the company seemed to be to make people guilty, and there were examples of harsh emails from Balwani to her. Audra Zachman, a nurse practitioner who relayed an example of erroneous information provided by Theranos relating to a pregnant patient. However, on cross-examination, this was purported to be an isolated incident, and Audra herself couldn't find any issues with Theranos data when asked by the government back in January. Justin Offin, PwC employee, he compiled the personal texts of Holmes, and the ones that were read out showed that both Holmes and Balwani were aware of issues in the company. Jim Mattis, former Defence Secretary. He was a board member who said the board could ask questions when needed. He was recruited by Holmes. He tried to get help expediting testing to put Theranos products into the military. He had difficulty remembering that his salary was $150,000 and thought it was only $50,000. Adam Rosendorf, former lab director, he left the company after 18 months, had concerns with the company's testing and told Holmes, and said that the company cared more about fundraising and PR than patients. Please don't forget that these are all prosecution witnesses still at the moment. Well, that's week 3 in a nutshell. For those of you who are following closely, you can see I'm trying to condense things down to the key essentials. If you think anything key is missed, however, please leave a comment below and I'll pick it up in future videos or make a comment on the title to the video. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss out on future videos when they're published.